Xmoon tutorial. In this part of Xmoon's tutorials, we will go through the complete path of a real trade together. We get the 3-bar divergence signal from Telegram, analyze it in TradingView, and then open the position on an exchange. Everything is clear and step by step. Only 3 things are required. First, we assume you have basic familiarity with technical analysis and capital management. Second, you have a free account on the TradingView website. And third, you have an account with a crypto exchange. Alright, if you're ready, let's go through the complete process of a real trade with the Xmoon indicator and then begin the tutorial. We'll cover these in 6 key steps, from setting up the Xmoon indicator on TradingView to executing the trade and managing the exit. The first step is to visit the TradingView website and set up the Xmoon indicator. First, go to tradingview.com and either sign up or log in to your existing account. Just before you register, please keep this important point in mind. To use the Xmoon indicator, there is no need to purchase a premium TradingView subscription. A free account will be perfectly sufficient. Our Xmoon team has successfully launched a dedicated Telegram signal channel. The moment a 3 push divergence pattern is identified in the market, it will instantly notify you. This means you no longer need to manually set TradingView alerts or worry about missing out on crucial signals. For completely free access to this signal channel, simply send a message to our support team on Telegram. From the products menu, we enter the super chart section. We select a desired symbol, for example, Bitcoin to Tether, BTC USDT. First, from the top navigation bar of the chart, we'll click on Indicators. Then, we'll navigate to the Invite Only section and select the Xmoon Triple Divergence Premium Indicator. As you can see, Xmoon has now been successfully added to our chart. Let's take a moment to configure the indicator settings once and for all, aligning them perfectly with our own personal trading strategy. To do this, we'll access the settings through the indicator's name. The first option you'll see is Number of Entry Steps. In this section, we define the number of entry steps, typically ranging between 2 and 10. For instance, we could set it to 4 steps. The next one is maximum capital per trade. Here we enter the maximum capital per trade in dollars, for example, $100. In patterns direction, we set the pattern type, either ascending, long, or descending, short. Both are active. Here, we also check all pivot sizes so they are all visible simultaneously. Pivot super minor is the smallest and major is the largest. The next section is about displaying visual lines on the chart. We recommend activating all options. Entry lines for displaying entry points at each stage. Risk-free lines, which help us exit trades without loss in specific situations. Target lines, which define profitable exits under optimal conditions. And finally, the liquidity level, showing where our capital is wiped out. For every pattern, all these lines are automatically calculated and drawn by the Xmoon indicator. This ensures that the entire trading path from entry to exit is made clear and step by step right before our eyes. Here, we'll also adjust the font size to large, so the prices displayed on the chart become much more readable. In the information box settings section, it's highly recommended to keep all options enabled. This box is specifically shown for each signal, providing us with truly valuable information. This system considers the specific pivot type upon which the pattern is formed, the suggested capital and leverage for each individual entry step, and furthermore, within its conditions check module, it thoroughly examines market conditions across multiple timeframes. Xmoon automatically checks 2 crucial conditions. First, the trend or the direction of the trend within a higher time frame, determining if it's an upward, bullish or downward, bearish movement. Second, it assesses the status of the RSI indicators zones in that same higher time frame, checking if it's in the overbought, purchase saturation, or oversold, sale saturation region, or if it remains neutral. As we know, these 2 filters can significantly impact the overall quality of our trading decisions. To activate them, we simply need to select a higher time frame. For example, if we are actively trading on a 15-minute chart for determining the trend direction, we should set the time frame to a few steps higher, such as a 1-hour chart, and for the RSI indicator, we would then adjust it to a 30-minute setting. This way, without having to constantly change the time frame, the overall market conditions will be automatically analyzed for us. Alright, up to this point, based on our personal strategy, we've completed all the necessary settings for the Xmoon indicator. We'll just click the OK button and that's it. From this moment on, the Xmoon indicator is active and ready on our chart. Our work with TradingView is complete, so we can minimize this page. Whenever necessary, we'll return to it with just 1 click. The second step is preparing your account on the exchange. The next stage is logging into the exchange. First, we'll visit LBank.com. We'll either create a new account or simply log in to an existing one. Next, we need to transfer our funds into the exchange platform. We'll select the deposit option and then on-chain to deposit our initial capital, which is that $100. After confirming the transfer from the top menu, we'll enter the Futures section and move our capital to Futures, making it ready for trading. Once these steps are complete, our work with the LBank exchange is finished, and we can minimize the page. Step 3 is accessing the Xmoon Signal channel on Telegram. Now it's time to access the Xmoon Signal channels. We'll head to Desktop Telegram, and with the link from support, join both signal channels. The Scalping channel covers 1 and 5 minute time frames, while Swing is for 15 minutes and above. Then we'll pin both channels so they're always at the top of the list, and make sure notifications are active so we don't miss any signals. From this moment on, everything is ready. We simply have to wait for the new signal to be transmitted. Fourth step, analyzing the received signal on the TradingView chart. Okay, a new signal just came in. We see that a new 3-cover divergence pattern has formed. Let's read its details. It's on the Ondo tether symbol in futures, on the 1-minute time frame. The trade type is long, and the pivot size is super minor. Below the signal, we have 2 buttons. First, we'll click on the View in TradingView option. The chart for that exact symbol will immediately open up in TradingView. Then we'll proceed to click on View in LBank Futures. This time, the symbol chart will open directly within the LBank Futures section. This allows us to quickly transition from Telegram to the chart and then seamlessly to the exchange. To facilitate our workflow, we'll arrange 2 browser windows side by side, one for TradingView and the other for the exchange platform. This approach means we won't constantly need to jump between different windows. Our first step will be to access the chart within TradingView. First, we'll align the current time frame with the one provided in the signal message. In the signal message, the time frame was set to 1 minute. Next, we need to make absolutely sure that the Xmoon Premium indicator is active on the chart, meaning its visual representation is fixed and not spinning or loading. Finally, we will proceed to analyze the pattern and its overall characteristics. The first step is to go to the black information box and read our information. The pivot size is super minor. Our actual capital is $100, which we had previously specified in the Xmoon settings. And the suggested maximum leverage for this signal is stated as 75 times. So our total entry capital for this signal is the result of this combination of capital and leverage. Please note that these calculations do not take into account any extra charges, such as commission fees, spread, swap rates, or potential stop-out events. However, since this is an instructional video, we won't be focusing on those specific details right now. Because we had previously configured Xmoon's settings to define 4 entry steps, Xmoon has now automatically split our $100 capital into 4 distinct portions, and for each entry step, it has clearly indicated the corresponding volume amount. It multiplies the actual capital by the leverage amount, then shows the final volume for each step. Next, we proceed to the conditions check and analyze market conditions. Here, it indicates that the trend direction in the higher time frame is bearish, and the RSI indicator status in the higher time frame is also neutral. After we finish reading the black information box, we'll then move on to the 3 push divergence pattern itself on the chart. The first thing we see are the green entry lines, or entries. We had defined 4 entry levels, so there are 4 green entry lines, each specifically designed for a long position. Opposite each entry line, you will find the actual capital amount allocated to that particular step. Now let's go over the logic behind these entry levels together. Initially, we'll establish a position and enter the market. We are expecting the price to move in an upward direction, reaching our predetermined target. But if it doesn't move, the second level is designed, where the probability of a reversal becomes higher, and if it still doesn't move, its likelihood increases at the third level, and the same applies to the fourth level. Now let's turn our attention to the pattern's second component, the liquidity ceiling. This is clearly indicated by an orange line, signifying the point in futures trading where our entire capital will be completely wiped out. So, we must always be mindful to manage our trade before the price reaches this ceiling. The third and final part of the pattern consists of the exit lines, where 2 distinct exit lines are defined for each step, the gray risk-free line and the green target line. As you're aware, within Xmoon, every single step has its own dedicated risk-free and target lines. This means that after we've entered a trade at any particular step, if we perceive the market conditions aren't looking good, we have the option to exit the trade without incurring any loss at the designated gray risk-free line. Conversely, if we find the market conditions to be favorable, we can then exit the trade profitably at the green target line. This means at each stage, after assessing market conditions, we can make a very quick decision. If Xmoon's features have appealed to you so far, we'll now move to the final section, placing and registering orders on the exchange. Step 5. Executing stepped entry and placing orders on the exchange. And now, we'll head to the LBank exchange window. The first step is to set the signal's suggested leverage. Before that, make sure to set the leverage mode to isolated. The signal we received indicated a maximum leverage of 75. However, for this specific trading pair or symbol, the exchange platform only allows a maximum of 50 times leverage. So we will proceed to set our leverage to that 50x and then confirm the order. We'll consider the first entry point designated as entry 1. To ensure the signal is executed quickly, we'll set the order type to market so that our trade opens immediately. Then in the amount section, we will set the actual capital amount for this first step. This is precisely the figure written next to entry 1 in the pattern, which is $10. We'll enter the target right now so we don't miss it even if the market makes just one candle move. For the first entry level, entry 1, we'll read target 1's value from the pattern and input it here. Since this is a bullish or long signal, we'll click the Open Long button. Congratulations! The first step of the signal's execution has been successfully completed. In the Xmoon system, we always prefer to be fully prepared before any significant market movement. Therefore, at this stage, we are also placing the orders for the subsequent entry levels right away. Given that the price has not yet reached the subsequent levels, to place orders for the next entry points, we will utilize a pending order, specifically a limit order. This ensures that as soon as the price reaches any of those levels, the orders will be executed automatically. Therefore, from this moment forward, we will set all our order types to limit. Now, let's proceed to the second level. We'll be taking the entry price from the second entry line on the chart and then we'll input it right here. Now, we need to specify the actual investment amount for the second step in the amount field. This is the exact figure shown next to entry 2, which is $20. Then we'll click the Open Long button to successfully place the order for this second step. Alright, let's move on to the third step. Just like before, we'll first read the entry price directly from the entry 3 line on the chart and then input it right here. We need to set the actual capital for the third step. That's the number next to entry 3, which is $30. Then finally, we hit Open Long to place the third step's order. In the meantime, the price hits step 2, adding our second position. Now first, we need to set a new target for the total open volume. So, the values for target 1 and 2. We then navigate to our open position, press the TP/SL button, enter the All Position tab, click Add and input the values for target 1 and 2 right here. So the new target is applied to the entire volume of the open trade. Alright, now the trade is becoming more interesting. The price has now reached the third level and our third position has been added to the overall trade volume. So we must adjust our target and position once more. C'est Hackadize on Donvalmis. Right here, next to the TP/SL position, we click the pencil icon and then again here, so we can adjust the target. We'll input the new values for target 1, 2, and 3 and then hit confirm. Now it's true that the market moved along this path and both the second and third steps were activated, but we certainly won't forget about the fourth entry step. We'll go ahead and place that order as well. The order type is still configured as a limit order. We'll then take the entry price from the entry 4 line and enter it in this field. We also specify the amount, that same number written next to entry 4, meaning $40, and finally we click the Open Long button so that the fourth step's order is also placed. Well, our work is done. Now we're just waiting to see which way the market moves. Will it go towards the fourth step or directly towards the target? Sixth, managing exits and making swift decisions using pre-planned scenarios. Now that we've successfully completed all the necessary steps for executing this trade, it's crucial to emphasize a very important point. At any stage of the transaction, we have the flexibility to make rapid decisions, always adapting to the current market conditions. For instance, right now we are currently at the third step, which is also known as entry 3. Should we assess the market conditions as being unfavorable, it's sufficient that when the price reaches the third step of the risk-free line, specifically risk-free levels 1, 2, and 3, we manually close out this particular trade's position. We must also cancel any orders that are currently pending to ensure we exit the trade without incurring any financial loss. Conversely, if we perceive the market conditions to be favorable, then absolutely no action is required on our part. We simply need to allow the trade to proceed exactly as planned, reaching the predetermined targets, specifically target 1, target 2, and target 3, to ultimately secure our profit. Indeed, the Xmoon indicator has been specifically designed to present us with two distinct, simultaneous scenarios at every single stage of the trade. One is a cautious exit strategy for pessimistic conditions, meaning an exit precisely at the risk-free line. The other is a profitable exit strategy for optimistic conditions, which is the target line. As we know, all these exits are automatically drawn on the chart once a pattern is identified to clearly define market boundaries for us. That's why in critical moments, we no longer need to do manual calculations. We just need to observe the conditions and simply execute the fastest and best decision without stress. Okay, let's get back to our trade. Just remember this, until the price reaches the fourth level, we remain at the third. This means the execution of this trade is still progressing based on that third level. Ultimately, this trade closed at the third level's target, specifically targets 1, 2, and 3, and we were able to secure a total profit of 5%. Let's note that from this moment on, the validity of this signal has expired and it no longer holds any value. What we need to do is cancel all open orders associated with this particular trade. Of course, it's important to remember that this was merely one trading model, just a single example of an Xmoon execution setup. Naturally, every trader has their own specific style and strategy. In this training, we've considered the target from the very beginning for each step to ensure a complete educational trading structure. However, you can adjust this path based on your personal approach. From any step onwards, for instance, from the third step, set your exit point at the risk-free level from the start and reduce your trade risk. This video is presented strictly for educational purposes, intended solely to enhance your understanding of the Xmoon tool's operation and to showcase a practical example of its implementation. The full responsibility for formulating trading strategies, selecting appropriate setups, and making all final decisions lies completely with the individual trader. We explicitly state that we are not providing and will not provide any recommendations for buying, selling, or any other form of financial advice. If this tutorial was helpful for you, we'd be very happy if you could like this video, leave your valuable comments for us, and share it with your friends so that more people can benefit from it. Also, if you have any questions or would like to test the free version of our Xmoon Premium indicator, simply send a message to our support team on Telegram.